All right, everybody, welcome to the last game of the showcase weekend. Today's game is against the Arizona Bobcat, faced in a showcase previously this season. The Phillies still down a few players. Start us off today. Jake, Luca, Bart with Tobin and Bops on defense, and Aiden Montanet. All right, looks like we're all set. Puck's down, back over. Bobcats send it into the zone, picked back up by Bobs, try to send it back around. Bobs, send it back over to Jake. Jake can't get it off his stick. Center pass back over to Luca. Luca gets it outside the zone. Bobcats rotate out, send it over to the opposite side across the blue line. Try to gain the zone, send it over to the opposite corner. Aiden with a nice save. Back over to Tobin. Tobin back out to Luca. Luca clears it out in the zone. Got a leak ahead. Goaltender comes out, sends it up into the neutral zone. Pick back up, cycled it over to the opposite side. Bobcats rotate out, back over to Kobe. Kobe sends it up the ice as Team Philly rotates out. And Bobcats are going to call for too many men. So penalty coming up on the Bobcats at the 6:11 mark. So Team Philly will have a power play opportunity. So Doc, Kobe, Nichols, Bart, Lucas to start out. Ready to get the penalty up on the scoreboard. All right, all set now. Puck's down, back out to Nichols. Nichols cycles it back over to Lucas. Lucas could not keep it in the zone. Cycles it back over to Aiden. Lucas back over to Nichols. Cycle it back up to Lucas. Lucas back out to Doc. Doc attacks the zone, holds up. Looks forward, sends to the opposite side, picked up by Lucas. Back out to Nichols. Shot attempt, back out. Nichols. Tried a one-timer, came off the stick wrong. Picked back up. Picked up by Lucas, full steam ahead. Thought about passing, chooses not to. Turns back. Cycles it back over to Bart. Bart sends it back out to Nichols at the point. Shot attempt goes just wide. Back out to Doc. Over to Lucas. Cycles it back over to Nichols. Nichols tries to get it over to Kobe. Kobe couldn't pick it up. Bart into Lucas. Gloves it down. Picked back up by Doc. 49 seconds left in the power play. Pass attempt. Doc turns the corner. Philly rotates the line out. Fisher back on the ice. Weaves around behind the defender. Tries to get through. Looking in the slot. Sends it back out to the point. Back out to Cusa. Cusa dumps it back in. 18 seconds left on Team Philadelphia's power play. Cycle it back over to Bops. Bops looking. Ups it back out and escapes the zone. Ricky couldn't keep it in. Back out to Cusa. Dumps it back in. Back over into the slot. Fisher tried to come. And penalty is over. No shot attempt. Back out to Cusa, drops it back over to Ricky. Ricky splits a couple defenders. Comes across. Gets a shot attempt off. .56, first period, 0-0. Fisher, Cusa, Nichols. Touchdown. Bobcats looking to control, get it back behind the net, send it up the wall. Shoots it back over, dumps into the neutral zone. Bobcats overrun the puck. Lang sends it up over the opposite side, back over to Fisher. Nichols. Try to send it up ice, back over to Lang. Lang, pressure onto the puck. Bobcats send it back out to the point. Opposite side. Center pass. Turn, shot, goes wide, picked up by Fisher. Fisher. No icing, sent all the way back. 3:10. 13:10 left first period. Bobcats send up into the neutral zone. Opposite side, no icing, tap forward, Aiden. Cycles it back out to the zone, Kobe. Releases it, Bobcats gather. Opposite side, send it forward. Picked back up by Lang. Lucas sends it across the board, try to pick it back up. Gets it out, delayed offsides, Arizona has to clear. Team Philly recycles, back out to Lang. Just misses Doherty. No icing call. Back over to Kobe. Kobe looking. Back out to the point. Lang takes a shot. Goes redirected. Goes wide. Lucas picks it clean. Back out to Doc. Try to cycle it back over to Lucas. Unable to do so. Kept in the zone by Bops. Bops tried to get a shot attempt off. Whips on the puck. Opposite side pass to Doherty. Couldn't control the puck. Lucas knocks it down with his skate. Does the same thing again. Lucas tried to dump it in. Good job by Tobin to knock it clean. Bobcats, pressure. Back over to Tobin. Tobin runs the puck. Bops cycles it back over. Send it back into the neutral zone. Bobcats gather. Send it back. Whip on the puck. Jake tried to keep it in. Picked up by Luca. Bobcats swing it into the zone. Bops back over the opposite side, over to Tobin. Tobin clears into the neutral zone. Good stick by Bart. Jake putting pressure onto it. Sent all the way back. Now it'll be an icing call. Puck's down, Ricky kicks it forward. Bart, backhand, tries to keep it in the zone. Bobcats send it into the neutral zone, send it deep. Goes all the way to the back wall. Ricky, some back check pressure. Bobcats back out to the point. Shot attempt goes wide. And that's a deflection into the back netting. Puck's down. Back over. Lang sends it forward to the opposite side. Ricky back over in pursuit. Cuset's between his legs. Bobcats send it down. Ricky's there. Try to cycle it back up. Center pass picked up by Fisher. Fisher. Cusa takes it from him. Tries to pull it back between his legs. Back over to Fisher. Fisher. Opposite side over to Nichols. Nichols couldn't control it. Tried to send it on net. Hits Fisher coming across the crease. Back over to Nichols. Nichols turns and fires. Bobcat sent it in. Knocked down by Nichols. Back over. Tried to dribble through. Now picked up by Fisher. Fisher turns and fires. Goes off a defender's stick. Ricky. Turns. Bobcats. Cusa picks it up. Lost it. Ricky on the back check. Aiden with a nice save. So 9:31 left in the first period, 0-0. Lucas, Doc, Kobe. Puck's down, back over. Thies try to pull it forward. Still floating around the boards. Bobcats sent it opposite side, picked up by Lucas. Lucas gathers it, thought about passing, moves up, gets a shot off from just inside the blue line with the goaltender, puts a glove on it. Doc back behind, put pressure on the puck. Bobcats gather, send it high up into the air, back along the boards. Bobs over to put pressure onto it. Kobe's back over to help out. Bobcats break free of that. He took an odd bounce and caught the pole. So 8:53. We're going to pull it outside the zone into a neutral zone faceoff. Puck's down, back over to Thies. Thies sends it deep, and then that'll be an icing call. Back along the boards, Thies couldn't control it. Back behind his feet, Doc taps it over to Lucas. Lucas shuffles it back over to Kobe. Kobe tried to get around a man. Centering pass, Lucas tapped it, hit a defender's leg. Tried with it. Bobcats come all the way back to the opposite side. Line change picked back up by Bops. Bops tried a long pass, he's picked up. Kobe. Aiden with a nice glove save. Puck's down, back over to Tobin. Tobin sends it up the board, cycle back. Now Tobin picks it back up after the puck comes back to him. Cycle back over to Ricky. Ricky picked up by Barthel. Barthel sends it deep. Goaltender guides it over to the corner. Heston with some token pressure. Back out to the neutral zone. Tobin sends it deep. Zone cleared. Bobcats rotate around. Tap forward. Tobin gets it into the neutral zone. Bobcats quickly turn them back around. Shot goes wide. They call an icing call on that one. Fisher on the faceoff. Tobin takes a swipe at it, picked up by Nichols. Nichols sends it out to the neutral zone. Fisher charges forward, waits. Ricky, some defensive pressure. Nice save by Aiden after a redirect by the Bobcats. Fisher moves it. Defender off the puck, pulls it back over to Tobin. Tobin takes a shot from center ice. Goaltender bumps it out to the corner, picked up by Cusa. Cusa centers it back over to Fisher. Fisher gets taken off the puck. Bobcats send it outside the opposite board. Rotate out, comes across the blue line. Cycles it back opposite side, picked up by Tobin. Tobin pushes it forward back over to Lucas. Lucas across the blue line. Gets a shot attempt off. Comes all the way back out into the neutral zone. Picked up. Picked up into the slot. Lucas tried to dump it in. Bobcats dump it down. Back over. That should be an icing call. And it is. .543 first period, 0-0. Doc, Kobe, Lucas, Richard, Kevin. Back out to Doc. Doc opposite side over to Lang. Lang gets a shot attempt off. Pop back up. And goaltender saw that through traffic. Bobcat cycle back up the side. Lang's there to try to pick it off. Loses the puck. Peace gathers it. Clears it back up to the neutral zone. Picked up by Colin. Colin opposite side over to Kobe. Kobe back over to Colin. Colin! Oh my gosh. Had an opportunity. Got his good defensive stick. Back on the face-off. Pucks down, back over to Thies. Thies jumps it down into the corner. Bobcats cycle around opposite side. Kobe with a nice check. Back out to the point. Lang try to send it on net. Picked off by Bobcat. Comes across the blue line, now the red line. Send it over to the opposite corner. Lucas gathers it away from Doc into Doc's hands. Now pick back up. Over to Kobe. Kobe puts a shot on net. Goaltender knocks it down. Shuffles it back out to the corner. Lucas pressure onto the puck. Bobcats send it out to the neutral zone. One-on-one with Aiden. Shot attempt goes high over Aiden's head. Back over to Luca. Luca looking. Shuffles. That's going to be an icing call. 4:20 left, first period, 0-0. Bobcats run it back out to the point, try to send it on net, gets knocked back down. And shot attempt off the defensive stick into the back webbing. Bobcats pick it up right into the slot and get a rifle shot. I'm sure Ada was probably blocked on it, so Bobcats get on the board first at the 4:08 mark. Bard on the faceoff. Luca back over to help. Bobcats gather. Opposite side. Bob's over to pick it up. Backhand. Aiden guides it to the neutral zone. Fighting below. Now it's back into the neutral zone. Bobcats gather. Send it forward. Backhand attempt. Bobcats pick it up. Tobin. Try to clear it back up. Still can't get to it. Heston gathers it. Back up to Nichols. Nichols. Bob sends it to the opposite side. Back over to Tobin. Tobin. Got opportunity. Nichols. Gets a shot attempt off. Right into the breadbasket of the goaltender. Nichols. Bobcats pick it up. Back out to Ricky. Ricky sends it in the zone. You got to clear the zone. They do clear. Bobcats tap it into the zone. Lang try to clear it. Picked back up by Cusack. Cusack. Fisher trying to get to it. Knocks it down. Back along the boards. Cusack. Cycles it back over to Fisher. Fisher tried to tap it back over to Cusack. Is not able to do so. Ricky. Good defensive stick. Cycled back out in front. Lang gets it into the neutral zone. 2:23 first period. 1-0 Bobcats. Cycled back. Feed right up the center. Bobcats couldn't handle it. Picked up by Lang. Lang back over to Nichols. Puck's down, back over to Dockley. Dockley cycles back over to Lucas. Lucas try to pull it through. Bobcats over to the opposite side. Send it all the way back up. Tap down, back over to Thies. Thies just outside of his reach. Puck is in the groove. Doc try to cycle it back into the center ice. Now it's picked up by Bobs. Bobs sends it back up the boards. Aiden with the knockdown and gathers it. .124 left. First period. Lucas, Kobe, Doc. Puck's down. Shot attempt goes off the Kobe's. Aiden with a couple nice saves. Knockback. Lucas knocks it down. 1-on-1 with the goaltender. He's going in. Takes a shot low side. Blocker. Gets knocked back. Ricky. Aiden with a nice save. Oh my gosh, it's going to be a penalty coming up on Ricky. Cross check. So 53-second mark. Team Philly will be down a man for at least 53 seconds of this period. Bart, Luca, Bobs, Tobin out to kill this penalty. Bobcats send it over to the opposite side, back center. Goes off of Luca's boot. Back out to the wing. Nice save by Aiden. Came off, but they count it. So 2-0 Bobcats. Wolf arguing the point. 30 seconds left. Nichols, Fisher, Cusa. Puck's down, sent back out into the neutral zone. Back over to Cusa. Cusa try to clear it. Lang, good defensive stop. Back out, center pass, out to the point. 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1. And that ends the period. So Team Philadelphia down 2-0 at the end of one. All right, 17 minutes, second period. 2-0 Bobcats. Lucas, Colin, Kobe, Richard, and Bobs. Puck's down, back over to Kobe. Kobe sends it deep. Back behind the net, right there. Oh my gosh, the puck came out. That was a trip, too. Jump back into the neutral zone. Bobcat send it deep. Bobcat player down. Puck's back. Kobe tried to take a whiff shot at it. Whipped on the puck. Back over to Thies. Thies dumps it in. Zone cleared. Picked up by the Bobcats. Luke dumps it in. Sent back over to Kobe. Kobe sends it in. Opposite side. Goaltender knocks it down. Colin on the forecheck. Back over. Picks up by Lucas on the wing. Cycle back over to Colin. Colin can't control it. Bobcats break out. Send along, opposite side. Jumps in, goaltender knocks it down and gloves it. Fisher, Cusa, Nichols, Bobs, Thies. Fisher, opposite side, over to Cusa. Oh, almost had an opportunity. Picked back up by Cusa. Cusa back out to the point. Thies gets a shot attempt off and goes off a defender's stick into the back rafters. Fisher tried to push through. Gathered by the Bobcats. Knocked down by Cusa, back over. Tried to pick it up other side to Fisher, couldn't get it through. Sent all the way back.